The storm up over Winston and northern Walker counties, we've been watching that one all evening. It's very close to a cold frontal boundary, so that gives it extra rotation because it's very near that boundary, and it kind of gives it extra energy. And it's so large, Jason, if we can switch to reflectivity and loop that real quick, you can almost see that that thing has attained a rotation of its own. And often what happens, we mentioned this earlier, but for those of you just joining us, this storm is so large. The red that you see on reflectivity there on the radar, that represents heavy rain and hail. And you can see it almost swirling now like a small hurricane. And we call that an MCV, or a mesoscale convective vortex, because it becomes so large and has lasted so long. That storm came out of southern Arkansas, James, hours ago, and it's lasted all the way across. And this thing could go on well into the early morning hours. So just because one storm comes through your house, don't just think it's over, because tonight this is going to last a long time.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing couplet we're seeing right there, Tim. That is very strong evidence of high wind and some rotation. And with every volume scan, that gets brighter and brighter. And that is a very dangerous storm. That is coming through the northeastern tip of Walker County, velocity product. And again, you can clearly see what's happening here. Green, these are pixels coming toward the radar in Birmingham, red going away. And again, right there is that rotation just off to the southeast of Curry. And again, this is near the Smith Lake Dam. These folks were hammered on Thursday out here. Many chicken houses were destroyed, trees were blown down, and the Barron Tornado Index is up to an 8.0. I think that's as high as we've seen it all night in Alabama. We've seen numbers like that to the west, but in terms of the Alabama storms, a BTI of 8 is as high as we've seen it. And again, that is moving up in this direction here. Again, this is Interstate 65 right here. That is Alabama Highway 91. Alabama Highway 91 curves back up here to Highway 69, and that runs through Colony and Arkadelphia.
In southwest Cullman County, I'll tell you, there may be a tornado there.
Right.
So tornado warning or not, there may be a tornado there.
Right. Let me just tell you that this is it right here. Okay. The one spot we've got that is showing strong evidence of a tornado is sitting right here in the Walker-Cullman County line. That's going to be cutting across the far southern part of Cullman County. We've got this strong evidence of circulation right now, and that's coming off the Columbus next red.
This is Huntsville.
Oh, Huntsville, high top. Okay. That still showing that good rotation coming up into southwestern Cullman. Let's look at our Skycam in Jasper real quick, Ashley B. We've got severe storms coming through Shelby County producing hail. That's a severe storm, but in terms of the tornado threat, that's it right there. It looks like it and I don't even know it's going to clip the northern end of the county right now. So I would imagine the Weather Service will really look at taking Jefferson out of this warning here pretty soon. The greatest issue is right here. Very strong evidence of rotation right now. It's almost on the Walker and Cullman County line, clipping the far southern part of Cullman County. Let me point out, the Weather Service did go ahead and issue a tornado warning for southern Cullman County, which is a very astute thing to do here. This is for the same rotation we're looking at. This does not include the city of Cullman, which is up here. And again, that's Alabama 69 going south. That's Alabama Highway 91 going back off to the west. For those of you in Arkadelphia and Cold Springs and Bremen, and especially right down through here, Arkadelphia and Colony. And this is Blount County right here. Let me just say, Blunt Springs and Smoke Rise, I would go to a safe place because of this storm. There's very strong evidence of rotation coming right at Blunt Springs, clipping the far southern end of Cullman County down here. Again, this is Colony about right here. This is Arkadelphia. This is Bremen right here. And this is Dodge City right here on Highway 69. But we do not advise travel along Interstate 65 north of Birmingham for about the next hour from this one storm, with very strong evidence of rotation crossing the interstate near the Blunt Springs exit in about 15 minutes or so. This is a very dangerous thunderstorm toward the community of Nectar in Blount County. And again, what Jason is 12:56, we're coming up on 1 o'clock. This is James Spann with our weather crew, Ashley B., Jason Simpson. Tim Coleman is in the studio. Brian Peters is in the field. And I think we just got a note here that Kyle had damage from this rotation here that's about to come through Blount County. And again, as this comes on through, this could produce tree and power line damage. And even if there is no tornado, there is a great probability of damaging straight line winds. immediate closest tornado concern to the Birmingham Metro is this, that is crossing Interstate 65 right now, out here in the vicinity of the Mulberry Fort. That'll be coming through Blunt Springs and then coming over toward Nectar and then coming over toward Aniana. And you can see there's evidence that, and this is the Birmingham shot, right?
Right, that's Birmingham.
You know, sometimes you can see how we might have a reorganization going on here with two distinct circulations, but because of the nature of these storms this evening, it's going to be hard to call out those specific locations. For a while, this was a very tight, wound-up storm. Getting more reports of trees and power lines down in Boldo from this thunderstorm. And again, that's moving over here into Blount County. So there is very great concern that we could see a lot of trees.
There was just one report of trees down at exit 299, which is Dodge City. There are some injuries with some entrapments there.
That's where those trees are down, I think,
yeah,
on cars.
Yeah, exit 299.
Southwest of Cleveland, moving east at 48 miles per hour. And you can see the rotation is very close to Hayden, and that'll take it awfully close to, again, you can see the two different skits here. More than likely, it could be about splitting halfway between these. Let's check the BTI on this thing. It's the 6.7. That's a very significant number. There's a chance we could see a tornado down right now near Hayden, moving over toward Nectar, Locust Fork, and ultimately Aniana. If you're in any of those communities in Blount County, we advise people to be in your tornado safe place right now. That is a small room on the lowest floor near the center, away from windows. No mobile homes. As part of any mobile home plan, you have to leave and go to some other substantial structure. And unfortunately, we do have these at 1 o'clock on Saturday morning. So hopefully your plan is in place for that. We've had reports of trees on cars on Interstate 65 with entrapment and injuries. So understand. In fact, we understand that now hazmat has been asked to be put on standby. It might be an 18-wheeler with some type of tanker truck that's overturned out there. We just don't know. But obviously, there's been major issues along Interstate 65, and that is why so often you hear us say, don't drive from point A to point B. It is extremely dangerous to be driving on a night like this in these kind of thunderstorms. And again, you can see that rotation very clearly, and this is passing well to the north of Birmingham. The rotation is not as hot now as it was when it came over that northeastern tip of Walker, the southern part of Cullman counties, but it's definitely still there, and that is moving over here in the general direction of Aniana. So on Taylor Road has trees down. This is in Cullman County. And again, from Marion County, we have reports of trees down on trailers. We have reports of possible injuries there in the community of Scottsville or Warrior. Jason, back over to you for some late news.
Just a bit of information to pass along about Interstate 65. It is entirely shut down from the Blount-Cullman County line northward toward exit 299. Dodge City, there are some accidents around that area with some injuries because of the weather there, and trees are also blocking parts of I-65 right now, James.
Yeah, I believe that. Again, this is the storm complex that went right over Interstate 65. Trees down across the entire interstate. And thanks to all of our sky watchers up in Cullman County for reporting this information to us. But again, I-65 is shut down at the Cullman County.